Today we're going to talk about the things that you're going to want to avoid if you're getting ready to buy a house or you're in the process. So if you're getting ready to buy a house or you're in the process of it, there's some things that you're going to want to completely avoid, especially in most of these have to do with finances. First of all, so I'm going to go over several of these. You're going to want to not buy a car. Whatever you do, don't buy it. Not until your loan officer has totally vetted you on your loan. It can mess up the mortgage process and you may end up not being able to get either one, either the house or the car. So you've found the house that you want to buy, you've put an offer in, you've got the financing moving along, and you're wanting to decorate the home next with some furniture. That's understandable because you've got to fill it with some things that'll work in your house, some furniture, some couches. Don't make any purchases on furniture until you're actually in the house. It can mess up your credit, so just wait till you're in the house or at least until the house is closed. Also, when you're in the process or shortly before buying the house of your dreams, do not make any large deposits of money. It can raise some questions and cause a lot of problems. It'll be scrutinized too much that can kind of mess up your loan process if you do some large deposits. You want to be as upfront and honest about all of your income as possible so there's no surprises at the end. Now you'll want to make sure that you have enough money for your closing cost. And your lender should have gone over your good faith estimate, which tells you about how much you're going to need to bring to closing. Because there are closing costs with the loan, not just your down payment, but there might be 10, 15, 20,000 you have to bring for your closing costs. So you'll want to make sure that you have enough money saved up for that part of the closing also. Now, if your brother happens to ask you to co-sign a loan for him so that he can buy this car that he wants, don't do it because that will affect your credit score and how much you can use for the purchase of your house. So do not co-sign. That can be a little bit of a trap. I know you've got some good intentions, but when you're buying a house, you don't want to do it for sure. Also, don't get behind on your payments that you have with your rent or your car payment or credit card payments, things like that. Also, when it comes to debt that you may have, be very careful about how you consolidate the debt. You definitely would want to talk with the lender first before you go forward and do any of that. And on top of that, if you're thinking about making a move career-wise, wait until after you're in the house if the move is nearby where the house, in the same location as the house is. Changing careers sometimes can change your qualification because many times you've got to be within that same job for maybe up to 2 years. You'll have to ask your lender on that rule, but that's usually the case. They want to see some longevity in your line of business. While in the process of getting your loan and buying a house, don't change your banks. You may have been thinking about it for a while. Maybe you've been wanting to move from one bank to another or to a credit union, but hold off on that till the transaction is closed, just because the lender wants to be able to find your funds where you said they were going to be. Also, don't close any credit cards because that can change your debt to income ratio. So if you're going to do that at some time, wait until after the purchase of your house is over with. A lot of times we get mail from the credit card companies saying you're doing so well with this and you're making enough that you can increase your credit limit. Well, when you see that, don't take that bait. Don't increase the limit right now. You're going to want to wait, if you're really going to do that, until after the transaction is closed. And also, don't max out your credit cards either, because everything's very sensitive in this time while you're getting your loans. The lender and the underwriting group, they're continually scrutinizing your accounts, where the money is going, how you're paying things off, your credit score. So just wait on that. And it's better not to max your credit cards out anyway. And lastly, don't open any more credit cards at this present time while you're getting pre-approved or approved and then closing your transaction. This can give you a hard inquiry on your credit score and everything, and it can take a long time for that to come off. So that's one of those very delicate things that the lender is looking at, the underwriting, and you'll want to avoid that. Hope this gave you a few ideas to get you ready for buying a house and to avoid some problems.